Welcome to Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus. We're at the Geico headquarters in Fredericksburg. We know that we have a lot to talk about. We were talking playoffs a few days ago, but today we'll talk about the old song that was written back in the 80s, and the name of it was something like So Close, but So Far Away. We'll be back in a moment.
So you just walk around telling people Geico could help them save money on car insurance?
Yeah, that, and homeowners, renters, motorcycle and boat insurance.
Huh, that's nice. What happens when you catch a fish?
Oh!
Geico, more than just car insurance. See how much you could save at geico.com.
I'm okay!
Obviously, it's different when Trent Williams is out there. You know, your starters, for a reason. But with that being said, I honestly feel like the guys came in and did a great job. You know, they were able to make some plays. They came to play today defensively, and you know, you see it. They just made more plays than us. That's all it boils down to. Those opportunities that I feel, you know, I left out there. And I'll improve that going into next week. But we had our opportunities. It was just their day.
It is a little disheartening, you know, seeing your teammates go down like that. You know, one after another. It's not a good situation. But you know, we do, like I said, we do have confidence in the guys coming in behind them. And you know, we were able to go out there and protect Alex.
Welcome to Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus again, and as I said in the opening, it's not the greatest time to talk right now about the Washington Redskins, but I got a group of guys here that can talk about anything. Two of the best wide receivers ever in the game, as you know, Gary Clark right now, he's just waiting for that Hall of Fame call. He got 699 passes. As I said, he came in as a punt returner and left as a Hall of Famer. Give it up for Gary Clark. One of the best cornerbacks, ever since this guy left, they've been trying to get him to come back. He was one of the best cornerbacks they ever played, and he was the cover corner. Not only did he cover people, he would hit people. And right now, he's covering the team on the radio, and when you hear him, you got to listen to him. Give it up for Fred Smooth. Santana Moss. I can tell you all about his catches, his careers, but the only game I care about is in 2005 when he was down there in Dallas. Everybody thought the game was over. 2 touchdowns later, we was walking off the field. They were, I say we, laughing at Dallas, and he's been one of the greatest receivers ever to come across here. Give it up for Santana Moss. Now, I did some things during the course of the years. I'd always name different people. And one time I saw this guy come in with a mohawk and everything, and we named him Mr. D. Now, let me tell you about Mr. D. Mr. D was NFL Lineman of the Year. He had 18.5 sacks that year. He was second-string lineman, all-pro lineman the next year. He's been one of the most prolific pass rushers ever to come here. Just to say a little bit, when the guy is 6'4", 260 pounds, run 4.5 and bench 500, you can't stop him. Give it up for the Dex, the D, the Mr. D. That's the Manley. Now I'll collect that money when the show's over from all of it, okay? But you know, let's get to really talking about this, and I don't want you guys to hold back anything, because we were looking at a team on Sunday that was supposed to be in first place, a championship team, and I did not see that.
Yeah.
And I'm not looking at the injuries because the team that they played had just as much injury, just as many, and maybe more injuries than they had. I think when you go out there at this time of the season, you have to make it happen.
What I saw yesterday was a team, actually, it wasn't the players. Sometimes it's not about the X's and the O's. It's about the Jimmy and the Joes, okay? And you got to put them in position to make plays. That's why I love, some coaches I played well with, some coaches I didn't, because they went into the details. Now, when I look at that game yesterday, we got totally out-coached on both sides of the ball. They were smart. They seen us dominating people up front. All right, so they said, you know what we're going to do with these guys? If they're going to get in anyway, we're going to let them in. But we're going to make them run sideline to sideline. If you see, they did a lot of stuff to the outside when they ran the ball, but the rest of it was screens and draws, screens and draws. And once they got them D linemen to running, and one thing that I don't like is we don't sub. All right, that's what they
Right,
look.
exactly.
They don't sub the front, so once we tire them out, we can just take it to them, and that's what I saw yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, to me, it also seemed as though they tried to run the first two, maybe the first series, half of the second series. It didn't work. They went away from it.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I looked at, and he hit it dead on, I mean, and I watched and I'm sitting there saying to myself, here's a team that's been struggling also. You just saw these guys play Monday night against the Giants, and they really didn't look that well. And then they come out here with the game plan that the Indianapolis coach, took
Exactly.
to us. And I saw the same game plan. And that's something that we don't do well. I've been saying that for years, is that, one of the reasons why we were successful when I was playing here a lot of the times with Coach Gibbs, his second tender, we actually watched teams and say, okay, if they did that well against that team, we're going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's what, those Falcons did. They say, well, this team beat them here, a team that shouldn't have beaten them, beat them with this game plan. We're going to take that same game plan.
And they got more weapons.
And they had way more weapons, than the coach. So when you watch that game, crosses, pick plays, they didn't even, really beat us downfield, because they say, hey, they're going to be anticipating us to run Julio and all these guys with these deep crossing rights. They said, no, we're going to stay right here in the immediate, pick these guys, run the catch. Just put the ball in these guys' hands, let them do the rest. And one of the things that I've been saying for the week in and week out, we don't adjust well. And I don't understand if it's just the coaching staff or it's just, what they see, if they're, their ego's a little bigger than what we have going on. But after, a few plays here and there, when you see these guys are taking it to you a certain way, you have to find a way to say, hey, let me change my game plan and do something a little different. And we didn't do that.
And G, now I know a lot of people are talking about the injuries and everything, but those guys, and I watched them a lot because they had 3 Pro Bowlers that's on injury reserve, 2 starting safeties and 2 starting offensive linemen. So they had a lot more people on injury reserve and hurt than we did. So is that an excuse for the way they played on Sunday?
I don't ever think injury is an excuse. I mean, it's just an opportunity for another football player, a professional football player, to step in and do his job and do his job well. Like, anytime, we all, at some point in time, was the next guy. We was the second team guy when we first come into the league, because there's other guys already in place that people trust in. But when I came in, I'm just like, okay, when I get my shot, I ain't giving it back. I'm just not going to give it back, because I was meant to play. So I think the guys who come in, they have to be meaning to play. They got to understand, like, this is my opportunity to become the guy. And if you don't want to be the guy, you're in the wrong profession.
Exactly.
100%. If you don't want to be the guy that everybody talks about, that people hold accountable to, like, you'll come out there, if you have a bad game, you have a bad game. Why? Because you're the guy, you're not supposed to have bad games. Your job is to be the guy.
Well, and when I used to play, and I know we used to fold up our helmets and put it in our back pockets, but at the same time, we never wanted, y'all didn't get that, did
they didn't catch that. Right over the head.
We always were afraid to get hurt, because I've seen too many people, when they let somebody else get in there, they did not have the job after that. These players don't seem to be that way.
That's why a lot of us played hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of us
I
played
played
hurt.
14 years. I missed 1 game, and I didn't have to miss that one. And, I always hate that I missed it. But now, let me ask you this. These gentlemen have said something important. They said we didn't adjust our defense to really what they were doing either. Dexter, I've looked at this defensive line. Now, those 2 big guys in the middle, they remind you of Dave Butts as well as Darryl Grant. Our edge rushers, they didn't seem to adjust yesterday, but they seem to be making the plays on our edge rushers. Did you see that?
Well, I did see that. I tell you, Ryan Kerrigan, he started off slow, been slow this season. I don't know why, but maybe it's age. You know, the guy had a birthday, got married. Maybe that was the problem.
I'm not going with that. You're going to make sure I get somebody mad up in here. But he's playing better, but what do you think?
Well, I just think that it all works hand in hand when the front four be able to get to the quarterback, everybody else, particularly, what are we talking about?
We're talking about the defensive linemen, they didn't adjust.
Okay, well, they didn't adjust, and hey, they just got their butts kicked.
Let me tell y'all something. This guy here, when he played, and that was getting to the quarterback, that's why he didn't care about the run sometimes, but this guy was one of the greatest ever. And when you say adjust, tell me this, and I'm going back to that question.
Yeah.
I think the two guys in the middle did well, but I'm looking at our ends, and this year I've seen one game where they really, really showed up.
Well, they don't have enough moves. They got to have more moves and get to the quarterback. One move is not going to cut it today because the quarterback able to get in the pocket, he can move around, and sometimes they got a good left tackle. Most of these NFL players, particularly on each team, they got one of the best left tackles in the game throughout the league. See, the front five, always the best lineman is your left tackle, in my opinion. And so I just think they've been having some difficult times.
Now, when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more defense. And I got a story I want Dusty to tell you guys about. But at the same time, I had to spoon feed him to get him to start talking like this. So when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more defense. We'll be back in a moment.
What do you mean it's not working out, Craig? I mean, I just introduced you to my parents.
Psst, Craig and Sheila broke up. What? Really? Craig and Sheila broke up? No. Craig and Sheila broke up. Sheila. Never liked that guy. Oh, that one's coming. Craig and Sheila broke up.
Craig and Sheila. As long as office gossip travels fast, you can count on Geico saving folks money.
Craig and Sheila broke up. What?
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
You know, they was moving 11 around a good bit. And then, you know, they started to move their guys, their playmakers on matchups, and those matchups they had, it was just kind of crazy how it all went down that way. But, you know, at the end of the day, we have to be stronger from a defense standpoint to try to overcome, you know, some of those things.
Can't point your finger at anybody or say it was anybody's fault. It was all 11 of us out there, you know what I mean? Everybody on defense didn't play like we should have played, like we're accustomed to playing, and, you know, we got to go back and get it corrected, you know what I mean, and come out next week on fire because, you know, you just got to come out and make more plays. That's the biggest thing, you know what I mean? We didn't make the plays that we usually make, and it shows.
Big penalty was 140-some yards. Just another thing that shot you all in the foot today.
Yeah, that certainly doesn't help either. I mean, we, you know, number on offense, a number on defense, and it's already tough when you're going up. When it's tough enough when you're playing well to succeed, but when you're not playing well and you're shooting yourself in the foot, it's just not going to happen.
You don't make a team one-dimensional, it's going to be hard to beat them. We didn't make them one-dimensional. I think the first time all year we didn't stop the run. So if you don't make a team one-dimensional, you don't stop the run, it's hard to beat them. It's hard to stop them when they go play actions. bootlegs and all that. So we got to stop the run, make teams one-dimensional. We got to load the box. Let's load the box. I don't like playing half field. I don't, truthfully.
Welcome back. How do you guys think that cheer was? Do we need them to do it again?
No, I thought it was loud. It was louder than FedEx was yesterday. I can tell you that. I don't know. I personally don't know where the home field advantage has been to because it's not there. When me and Tanner played, and we wasn't the best teams, but we knew it was going to be 80,000 fans out there, win, lose, or draw, rain, sleet, or snow. They was going to be there, and we were going to win and lose together. But now it seems like the fan base is lost a little of its fire right now.
Well, you know, now that they can sell the tickets on StubHub, we have many of the visitors fans there as we do our regular fans. And it makes you feel bad when you go in your stand and like you got a Green Bay team with more cheeseheads up in there, and you got Redskins.
My name was Smoot, so I can't tell if you're screaming my name or booing me. So it worked well for me on the road or at home. I'm fine.
We're going to talk a little defense now, and what you need to understand, we're going to go through this show, and we'll be talking off and on about everything, but I wanted to ask Dexter about something. But first and foremost, we do a lot of veteran shows, and the veterans talk about what happens with them, and I'm going to keep talking to you guys, too, about what has happened to them during the course of the game. Now, each and every guy up here can tell you a story of how he's been affected, not just when he was playing, but after he's playing football. And you've heard of CTE and different things. And I think you all know it's great every time that I introduce Dexter, they all talk about how great a player he was, but they never know his true story. So Dexter, for a few minutes, you want to just share that with us.
Well, I tell you, I just have some issues. I mean, I didn't know. I learned about this in 1985, that I passed out in Georgetown Mall, and they rushed me to Georgetown Hospital, and the chief neurosurgeon told me I had a cyst on my brain. Well, at that time, he told me, well, we're going to have a wait-and-see attitude. We're going to come back every 6 months. But I didn't want to hear that. I was 27 years old, maybe 26. See, I forget my age. Mm-hmm. I tell these guys I'm one age, but I'm really another age. You know, that part kind of BS. But
I'm glad he told y'all that.
but so the chief neurosurgeon at Georgetown said, well, let's come back every 6 months. But I was young, very vibrant. I didn't want to hear that. I felt threatened, so I just ignored it. And so I moved back here in 2004, and I was on Georgia Avenue, and a bunch of officers pulled me over, and they took me to Washington Hospital Center. And then they told me I needed emergency surgery. I didn't want to go to Washington Hospital Center, so I walked into Georgetown. I had a 15-hour brain surgery. My brain was swelling because you guys heard of concussion and this type of situation. That's what happened to me. And then it came back in 2013. Had another brain surgery. So I'm kind of having some difficulties, but I'm going to weather the storm.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of the storm, Dexter, thank you for that story, my man, because you know, I look at this guy, I've been knowing him since he's young, but let's start looking at some players on this team. On Sunday, Ionitis, and you know that name. To me, Dexter, and you evaluate defensive linemen very well. Is he the best defensive lineman on this team?
I think those boys from Alabama are pretty good.
The Alabama Bucks. But I mean, he seems to be the guy that he can do a little bit of everything.
I think so. What happens, he stays low. He uses his hands well. He get off blocks and seems to be a very strong young man. He makes plays.
Now, defensive backs, I want to ask you this. Yeah. They went and got Ha-Ha. Mm-hmm. Where do you think he'll help most?
First of all, it's all about the big boys up front.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you.
You don't need great corners when you got great defensive linemen. Yeah. And if I can answer that question, not the bunch, I think the most complete is Jonathan Allen. All right, and he just getting into his groove. He can stop the run. He can pass rush. No lineman is able to stand up in front of him. That's why that's why our edge rushers is not getting sacks, because the shortest route to the quarterback is right to him. And what these guys do, and that's what the Falcons did yesterday. Like Tanner said, they looked at what the coach did, and the coach got the ball out of their hand. And if you get the ball out of your hand, we seem to do better against quarterbacks that hold the ball. Cam Newton, E. coli Manning, any of these dudes. we dominate them dudes because they hold the ball so long.
E. coli, that was a good one there.
You know E. coli kills, and he's killing the Giants. Right?
Wait a minute, do you see when he's standing up there, look like he don't have a clue of what's going on?
Got him through New York, and that's why him in New York was so good, because you can't really ever tell the emotion that Eli is going through. He always has this like Gomer Pyle look to him. He just sits there, you know.
You were right, man. So, if we're jumping back and forth, defensive back now. We had an interception yesterday, but do you think, and I know you need the linemen, but do you think these guys need to make more plays?
Well, the last 3 years, the top safeties in interceptions with 11 each, number 1 and number 2, is DJ Swearinger and Ha Clint Dix. So we got some ball hawks back there. And he couldn't make plays yesterday because he haven't learned the playbook. And once they knew he was in the game, they knew he was going to be the true free safety. He was never going to rock and roll with DJ and, you know, let DJ play some free and let him play some strong because he don't know the playbook. So once he was out there, they knew he was either in cover 3 or cover 1. It's as simple as that. But once he learns this playbook, they're going to be unbelievable. The question is, what are we going to do at corner? I love Dunbar. I think Dunbar
he had an interception on Sunday as well.
Exceeding what you want from him. He's the best cover corner we got on this team.
Plus, he's a former wide receiver.
So he thinks like a wide receiver. Our corners had an offensive position at one time in their life. It's corners that play running back like Sean Springs. It's corners that play wide receiver like me, Dion, Champ Bailey. We play wide receiver. So we never stopped thinking like a wide receiver. And once you take that inside your game, you start to get the ball back. Now, I think the pressure goes to Josh Norman. He's the guy. He's the highest paid cornerback in the league, but he's not a thief. And that's what they pay us to do. The one thing about corners, you don't take them home to your mom because they sinners. You don't take us home to your mom because we're taught to lie, cheat, and steal. Right? This is the truth. We got to lie to ourselves after we get burnt for 100 yards. You got to lie to yourself and tell yourself you're still the best in the world. You got to cheat. That means however I got to stop Tanner, holding him, little moves I got to do, I will do. And stealing, that's what you're paying me for. I'm a cat burglar. You pay me to get the ball.
Boy, I couldn't have got a better one than that. Right now, talking about stealing, we got to steal a little time to go back here with Donna Hopkins. She have a question.
Yes, Tony, but first of all, let's talk a little bit about the defense. They gave up almost close to 500 yards. And then Atlanta had given up 20 sacks on them, and the Redskins ended up with 2. And then the running game for the Falcons were ranked 30 out of 32, and they ended up with 154 yards. But the question also for you all, too, is the Redskins against the Colts had problems with them moving the wide receivers around. Same thing that Atlanta did. And now they've got Tampa Bay, which they've got Deshaun Jackson, they've got Evans, and then they've got Harris, the tight end. They're going to have a problem with those receivers if they don't get their staffs together as far as with those moving receivers. That's something that they should have been prepared for. Nothing new happened. And now I go to my guest.
Hi, my name is Eric Sweet, United States Marine Corps. My question is, with up-and-coming players like Maurice Harris and Capri Bibbs, what do you think we're going to see more of them?
Great question. Well, to me, both of those guys are guys that's exceeding expectations. You know, Bibbs is one of my favorites. He's a guy that I talked about last year when we got him. You know, we got a charm, and I hated to see him get cut earlier this year, but now he's back. Mo Harris, he's putting pressure on a lot of those receivers.
Yeah.
You know, we've been talking about Doxson week in and week out about when he's going to, you know, showcase a little more, and I still have faith in Doxson. But for Mo Harris to go out, I know it's hard. I know Smooth don't give me that credit.
I got faith in him.
I got Mo Harris got more 100-yard games than a first-round pick.
You're right. That's
Mo
right.
Harris'
And that's
first
crazy.
100-yard game was yesterday.
That's crazy. That's crazy. But the thing I think about it the most, I think that Mo Harris being a slot receiver and can play outside,
that's the difference.
By him being able to do both, that gives him a lot more opportunity. Doxson, what people fail to realize is that That touchdown he scored yesterday, he's good at that. They try to do too much with him downfield. That's not his game. His game is possession receiver. So use him as a possession receiver, and that's coming back to being out-coached. Our coaches are not thinking well enough. So I do believe in Bibbs. I do believe in Mo Harris, and I think we should see more of them.
Donna?
Hey, Tony, yeah, one more fact about the defense. The Atlanta Falcons were 10 of 13 on third downs, and at one point, they were 8 for 8 on third downs.
You don't have to quick bring up stuff
I'm sorry, but those are true facts.
Answer the question. Throwing us under the bus again. The defense is number 4
defense do their job, Tony.
In the league.
You don't make the news, you just report it.
The defense did not do their job, but another guest here.
Hi, I'm Melissa from the U.S. Navy.
Melissa from the U.S. Navy. We love Navymen. Thank you for serving.
Tell her speak up a little.
Oh, yeah, Tony, but she doesn't have a question, but I'm going to have the question for you all. Go back to the offense.
Wait a minute, did you just hear what Smoot said?
What did he say?
What did you say, Smoot?
You don't make the news, you just report it.
You report the true facts, right, Fred? But, Tony, one question about going back to the offense and everything. We talked about Alex Smith, and they keep saying that he doesn't turn over the ball. He manages the game. Okay, that's what he's supposed to do. But the thing about it, going downfield, but wouldn't you think that instead of keeping him in the pocket, move him around and call some plays where he's running? When he's moving around, you saw what he could do when he made that long run. Why not move him around instead of keeping him in the pocket? What's y'all's thought wide receiver-wise?
Well, a lot of plays he's automatically moving around because they're putting pressure on him.
Thank you.
He's always moving around, unfortunately. He would like to sit back in the pocket and be able to actually throw the ball to his receiver.
He saved a lot of sacks, and you guys know that.
Already.
I mean, this guy, that's one thing I like about Alex. He is standing there, but when he see a sack coming, he'll save that. He'll get 2 or 3 yards here and hold the ball out. He'll stand there. I still go back to the offensive line. They haven't played that great this year, even before they were hurt, and I think that is the factor to not going downfield as much or what they're doing. I'm going to have to take a quick break right now. We'll be back in a moment. When we get back, we'll end this talk with Donna throwing the defense up under the bus. They were number 4 in the league when we came in. They may be number 20 now. We'll be back.
Come away with me, Barnabas.
But I am a simple farmer. My life is here. In the field.
Ahoy, hoy, Alexander Graham Bell here. No, my number is 1. You must want 2. 2, I say.
Like my father.
Ahoy, hoy.
As long as people talk too loudly on the phone, you can count on Geico saving folks money. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Welcome back, and as you see, we're jumping around, but for all you fans out there, you must realize by now this is an hour-long show, so we got more to give you. So now we have to start talking about, we can't talk about yesteryear or yesterday or last week or anything. We have to start talking about what's in front of these Washington Redskins. What can they do to remain in first place? What can they do to improve their team? They got a team coming in here now with one guy on here I know want to score on us.
Oh, yes.
And they got a team that scores a lot of points, and they're better than their record. And I'm talking about that. They're not coming in, but they're playing Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
And is this a dangerous game, guys?
I think it's dangerous because have you seen these guys make up? Fitzpatrick's been one of those guys. He's everywhere. I would have liked to see Winston being the quarterback this
Yeah,
week.
exactly.
You know, I don't have nothing against Winston. I just understand that, you know, when it comes to the caliber of his play and what style, you know, of quarterbacking that, you know, he's shown over the years, he's not a guy that's going to find everybody. He's going to be locked in on one guy. He's going to give you the ball every now and then because he's going to hold the ball, and that's what we good at. We good at those, you know, we go after the quarterbacks that hold on to the ball. That Fitz, he scared me because he's one of those guys, he's gutsy. And 9 times out of 10, he's going to find that guy.
Exactly.
He know how to read the defense. He's going to throw that big ball down the field that, you know, I'm not scared that he might make those attempts, but when you have a Deshaun, you have a guy like who they have over there in Evans.
Yeah, Mike, he's a big receiver.
So we not knowing what we're going to get with this team, but I do believe in that, you know, one of the things that we're good at, and that's just getting after the quarterback. So hopefully we can make things hard for Fitz and make him have one of those games like yesterday, you know, throw the ball up to our guys.
So we're right back to where we were when they were referring to the Atlanta Falcons is our offense is going to have to run that ball, score points, and keep their offense off by controlling the game. Am I correct on that, G?
Yeah, I agree. We gotta definitely keep our defense off the field, you know, and keep their, scoring points is what we're meant to do. We're an offensive team. Our job is to go out there and put points on the board, and then to make our defense look great. And the defensive job is to keep them from scoring points and to make the offense look great. And we got to do that combination. Because right now, the whole year, we've been playing at about a 6.5, 7 overall. Once we start playing at 8.5, 9, 10, then we become a beast. Then our whole swag changes. Because then I'm going to Tampa Bay, and I know I'm going to kick. There's no guesswork. And that's the key. We got to get to the point where our swag, where we know, because right now, I think the team kind of questions, are we a good team, or we're okay team?
Gary, you didn't say they're going to kick what?
I said kick their butt. B-U-T-T.
Yeah. But you're right. And what you're saying is they got another level they need to go to. And they need to get to that level and maintain that level. And it can't be 1 week you here, 1 week you there. You have to really get that level, and you play throughout it, and you try to increase that level rather than decrease.
You got to find out how you win.
Exactly.
Right now, it's either get AP the ball. All right, that's our option. When he goes over 100, we win. That's our two options going down there. Get AP the ball. Maybe Jameis Winston take the guys out for crab legs. I don't know. Sometimes you need a little luck in this thing. But they're going to score points. We're not going to shut them down. They are very explosive on offense. They can't run the ball, so they're one-dimensional. So if I'm a defensive coordinator in there, I want to keep everything in front of me. They think we are only a man-to-man team, so everything that's worked against us, pick routes, all these screens, they're going to come back and they're going to run them off. The same exact thing. So we got to be playing some zone. We got to get these guys. The best thing about zone is all 11 defensive players are looking at the same thing, and we can read and we can react to it. And it'll be another week for Clint Dix to get used to this scheme.
Yeah, they really need him back there.
So I think he's going to help this week also.
So let's go to a question for Donna. You have a question for us.
Hey, Tony, you know, I think Fred hit it on there because DJ Swearinger said that they've got to make teams one-dimensional. You think about that win over the Giants and Dallas when they took away their running game. They made them one-dimensional, something that they did not do against the Atlanta Falcons. Way to go, Fred.
Thank you.
My name is James Anderson, United States Army Airborne Infantry. My question is more related to the run game opposed to the passing. Last year, we addressed the need by drafting Darius Geis. The year before, we drafted Samaje Perine. This year, neither one of them are really getting any carries, and now our leading rusher is a 33-year-old running back. Do we wait for Darius Geis to heal from that ACL injury? Do we address it next year's draft, a free agent? What do you think the next move is in the run game?
Now, if you leave it to me, I think they should let him heal because you got one of the best in the game right now running the ball. You say 33 years, but what you have to realize, he had 3 years that he didn't play, so he's like a 30-year-old running back, and he's like one of the better 30-year-old running backs. This guy's in top shape, and that's you. All of you fans, everybody in the audience in there, you take a look at when Adrian Peterson run that ball. Then you look at other running backs. There's no running back in the league that runs harder, madder, and stronger than he does.
Downhill.
Exactly. And so what you're looking at right now, you don't have to, you give that young man time to heal because he could be the feature back for the next 2 or 3 years.
I'm gonna say he's gonna be here next year also.
Exactly.
They just not gonna throw Geis up in there. At the end of the day, like they say, like Greg Williams would say, hey, you get in front of this running back, he run with bad intentions.
That's
like
right.
when he gets
Exactly.
you don't want to hit him. I was a defensive back. I had to hit Adrian Peterson, and he runs with a up and a down thrust and a motion where you don't know what to cut him low. I'm scared to hit him in the thigh. He might break my shoulder. So at the end of the day, if you make us start to think, you already won the battle.
Yeah.
We're used
Exactly.
to reacting, and he's one of those guys, you got to make a business decision before you tackle him. So,
Whether you want to be in the
yeah.
ring for a while or
So
not.
me, I'm like, the receiver, he a hell of a blocker.
Get blocked. Get blocked on purpose.
Yeah, I'm blocking people down.
Gotta make a business decision.
He ain't lying.
That business decision, how long your career gonna be?
I done played against guys. I'm blocking them. They like, hey, you good, man, you good. And then I look behind me. I see my running back running right behind me. I'm like, I'm good, or you want to go make that tackle? So he telling you the truth, man.
Brandon Jacobs for the New York Giants. All right, he balloons. He plays at about 280 in the regular season, but in the winter he balloons to about 300 pounds. 6'3". Now, I think I'm buff, but I ain't that buff. And he ran me over on first down. That's okay. Right? He ran me over again on second down. Right? Third down comes. I'm like, you know what? I got to change something. Something's not working. Third down comes, and Plexico is blocking me, and I look around Plexico, and I see him coming. I gotta make a business decision. I have to make a business decision. And I let him run past me, and he demolished the run last time. So I went pick the run up like, man, I'm sorry. Man. I'm sorry. This is all my fault.
Well, it's the honest truth, and that happens throughout. I bet you every guy got a story like that, because sometimes we used to call that fit into the block. But with Adrian Peterson, that guy will make you fit in. I think that they really should be trying to make him not just be here next year for 2 or 3 years and give a young guy a chance to really come
share the
about.
backfield with
And I
somebody.
think other than what they did on Sunday, and like I said, they went 1 or 2 series using him, and then they went away from it.
Yeah.
And
Out
as
of
we
the
said,
shotgun, though.
every game that
Don't
they've
like it.
won, he's averaging 115 yards a game. Every game they've lost, he's averaged 15. So what does that tell you? You got to run the ball.
Got to run the ball, and then Jay Gruden kind of went back to what he's been known to do for the last couple of years. He gets away from that as soon as he feels pressure.
Yeah. And not only.
Who's he feeling pressure from?
Atlanta gave him a lot of pressure yesterday. Atlanta gave him a lot of pressure. I mean, defensively, we've been known to be in these games because of our defense. Our defense, those guys took it to them because, like I said before, they went after them with what they saw worked. They said, hey, we're going to get this ball out of this quarterback hand, crossing route, pick routes. We're going to find a way to run the ball. We've been stopping the run all year long, and they find a way to run the ball against us.
But the run has been the defense. The best way to stop Drew Brees or Tom Brady is to sit their keister on that bench.
That's right,
As long
exactly.
as they on that
Keep 'em off the field.
they're going to score points and they're going to eat up yards. So the running game
And Matty
keeps
Ice
them
the
over
same
there.
kind of quarterback.
12, 13, 14 play drives. Chew up a quarter, let them get no rhythm. They go 3 and out. We right back on the field, 12, 13 play drive. The offense, the running game becomes the best defense.
Yeah, we got to do that. Let's take another question from Donna.
Yeah, Tony, AP only 9 carries, 17 yards. Not going to get it done. They've got to put it in his hands more. Our guest now?
Rachel Lattimore, U.S. Army.
And Tony, her question also was 10 penalties for the Washington Redskins, 147 yards, and 5 of those were on the offensive side of the ball with offsides.
Rachel, when we come back, we'll answer that question, but you hit it right on the head. You can talk about play, you can talk about position, you can talk about specialty, you can talk about offense, defense, but when you have 10 penalties like that, 10 major penalties in major times, you cannot win games like that. We come back, we'll talk about mistakes and losing. We'll be back in a moment.
I wish you weren't so worried about moving.
I'm hoping these nature sounds will help me relax a bit.
At least we don't have to worry about homeowners insurance. Just call Geico.
Geico helps with homeowners insurance? Good to know.
Feeling better?
I love you, Pookie Bear.
I love you, Pookie Bear. I love you, Pookie Bear. I love you, Pookie Bear.
Get to know Geico and see how easy homeowners and renters insurance can be.
Well, we'll finish the question that we went out with, and, you know, this team had 10 mistakes, and that's what penalties are. And, you know, anytime you're a championship team, guys, you can't win with that many mistakes. And you could talk about the play, you could talk about not pass rushing, you could talk about not stretching the field, but mistakes will kill you every time.
That started at coaching level, practice, really.
You're right. It's, what you mean, and you guys agree, when we all were playing ball, you had 6 weeks of training camp. And if you didn't have a good game, you scrimmaged during the week. Everything was predicated on not making mistakes. Remember, Coach Gibbs used to have an official come in and to look at us every day. Now you don't do that. You don't practice hard. You don't hit. Then you go out there and get hurt like everybody's doing. But mistakes will kill you.
I think the game has changed a lot when it comes to just how they prepare. And, yeah, they is soft on the guys. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, my last year was 2014. That's when I think it was just starting. I mean, if I could have played 3 more years out of that, you know, from 2014 to 2017, even this year, I probably could do it because we less practice, less hitting, and less, you know, concern. Yeah, less wear and tear, but less concern on what's, you know, we had always went over, you know, coaches emphasize the main things. You know, penalties, we wasn't going to get beat by that. You know, turnovers, we wasn't going to let turnovers beat us. And then just knowing your job. You know, one of the things that I took pride in, regardless of what I did that day, I could drop a pass. You know, I'm not lining up wrong. I'm not going to be on the sideline when I'm supposed to be in the game. No mental breakdown. The little things, you know, make you win games. And people fail to realize that. And you saw that, you know, display, you know, this past Sunday, the little things. And it was because a lot of our guys who we counted on was going down. We entered the game with Trent Williams down, and then Sheriff went down, Moses went down. So now we got these new guys in there, and the little things was biting us in the behind. So some of those things are coaches.
I think it's habits, too. It's habits. If you look at our offensive line in the last 3 years, we've had more injuries than anybody. When I watched New England play, I never seen linemen get hurt. When I watched New Orleans play, when I watched the Rams play, you never see them getting hurt. What about what's being taught over there that's not right? It's something's going on over there.
Weight room.
Yeah, some in that weight room.
But gentlemen, it's not just over there. It's around the whole league. You can, if you're in the city and you see another newscast and they show that team, one thing I see, guys walking in practice, no hitting, shorts and everything on. Then when they get in the game.
It's New World Order. See, you sound like Generation X talking about millennials. That's what you say. That's what you sound. You sound back in my day, we ran to the corner store.
That's right. We had to run up.
I ran 100 miles to school.
It is Generation
And that's what parents do. They won't let you out suffer them.
Wait a minute. I'm going to say one thing with Generation X. Gary, hold your hand up. Y'all see that? Y'all see this? That's what Generation X is.
We shouldn't be up here. We ain't got no ring. I ain't got a marriage ring. I'm losing in life,
too. Wait, I got to go to Donna. Donna, you got that question.
Hey, Tony, hey, Fred, I like that. But I like you, Tony, too, and Gary with those Super Bowl rings. But the guest right now is from the Air Force.
Enos Snickens, United States Air Force. To piggyback off what you said, the Skins have been knocking on the door for the past 3 seasons that I've been observing. There's something missing that's keeping them from not only being a threat in the NFC East. what is it going to take for them to not only be a threat there, but the entire league to say, hey, look, we've arrived, watch out for us?
You know it's going to take
It's a good question.
Yeah. It's going to take not doing it one week and doing it the next week. It's going to take going against a lesser opponent and blowing them out and going through somebody you think is better and blowing them out. You're going to have to each and every week prepare to win.
I'm going to be honest with you, and I don't want to cut you off before you start.
Okay.
But every week, you know, I'm asked the question because I'm on different outlets and I'm talking about it. I'm not confident, you know, with what I see, you know, because you never know what you're going to get. And when you watch other teams, like I went into that, you know, the whole week, I was waiting to see the Rams and the Saints play. And the Rams had the better record. But I told everybody, I said, look, if there's any team that's going to beat the Rams, it might be them Saints. Because they show you week after week after week that we the same team. And then eventually this thing is going to work. With the Skins, it's always like, whoo, well, we got out of that one. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, you know, we have to, it's something, I don't know what it is, it's something about us, regardless of how good we're doing. It's never consistent enough for me to be that guy to say, man, I'm banking with these guys.
You got to keep going to the well. Alabama has done us well. They don't owe us nothing.
That's right.
But in 2 years, we're going to have to get in the van and take a trip down there and bring back Tua Tagovailoa, a quarterback.
You think so?
If you want consistency, you're going to have your own homegrown quarterback that you raise and that you nurture. Because think about it, the quarterbacks in this division, the Giants are going to draft a quarterback this year, so they'll have a first-season quarterback. Cowboys got Dak. Carson Wentz is young. You're going to have to get in the young game. We got a 34-year-old quarterback. He's the best bridge gap quarterback in the league. That's how he's done his whole career. Had somebody behind him and teach him leadership skills. So I think we need to invest in ourselves and trade up for a draft pick and try to get
and that's what it makes us legit.
So you saying Colt McCoy is not the answer?
I'm saying Colt McCoy is who we thought he is. You know the most popular person on the team is always the backup quarterback. Right. Everybody always waiting to throw him in there.
Who we thought he was.
Hey, Tony, another area that the Redskins have to improve in on offense is on their third down conversions, which they're not really good at it, and also the red zone when they sometimes get there, which is not often.
Hey, Gary, she knew what she was talking about then, didn't
No,
she?
she didn't.
You know, Gary, you know. To our guest.
How you doing, gentlemen? My name is Mac. Lifelong Redskins fan, 28 years. I haven't experienced a lot of winning, a lot of inconsistency.
Sorry about that.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Do you believe the regime we have right now with Jay Gruden, with Bruce Allen, we actually have the ability to maintain a winner, not just for 1 or 2 seasons, but moving forward for hopefully decades to come?
I don't want to answer that question.
No, but you know, I don't think it would be fair to really look at them now and say they can or they can't. And then they added entity, person that they brought in is really doing more is Doug Williams.
Doug, yes.
And with him really in the mix now, he's been with the team, but he's really in the mix now. This team is going to get better. He has the personality to know how to get better. Not saying that they do not. So I don't think it'd be fair for us to judge them. Like, I wouldn't want you to judge a show that I had a bad show or anything. But at the same time, look at, I bring in Fred Smoot and he liven everybody up. So we got to look at it like that. So I don't think it's fair because they're doing a good job. But one thing all these guys will tell you, the coaches can only tell you where to go and how to do. It's got to be the players.
You got to be as players on your team. As a player, this is the only thing I expected from my coach. I expected him to give me a strategy. Here's a strategy for the game plan. You're the football player. You've been a football player since you was 5 years old. Now you tweak it and you make it football ready. Because when I go into the game, all I care about is winning. 100%. We're going to win the game. So I'm going to do whatever at my position that allows me to win the football game. So if you call me and I'm supposed to run a corner out, I don't care if it's an NFC championship game. If I think I'll give a guy a 3-step post move and he's already going to the corner, he's game planning me. He knows when we get in third down, red area, and that 3rd and 7 plus, they run a corner route to Clark. So I'm going to run a hook route, which I did do in the NFC championship game. Now, if Doug would have threw the corner route, I'd have been cut. I'd have been out of the league. It would have been over for me. But I can't stand to lose at anything.
And you know he just.
So I ran the hook route, and we went to the Super Bowl.
football.
And you know, he been talking about that on the show ever since.
It's just
but
true,
at the
though.
same
I don't
time,
believe in
what he's saying
losing.
is true. And when we come back, we got some more fans. We want you to have more fun. But one thing you have to start thinking about with this team is we can do all the talking up here, but they have to do it on the field. We'll be back in a moment.
Hey, Kyle Shanahan would have said. Hey, sports fans, two-time Super Bowl champion Gary Clark and Pacific Dental Services have joined up to bring Redskin fans a chance to win free NFL Legend experiences. Go to www.garyclarkinc.com/fans to register for a chance to win. Good luck.
The Purple H2O crew, we have been together for many, many years, ever since the stadium was built. We are dear fans of the Washington Redskins, the Purple H2O crew, and we are the fan of the week.
Welcome to the Sports Bar Challenge. In this week's game, we have the Dallas Cowboys traveling to Philadelphia to play the Eagles on Sunday Night Football. Crystal City Restaurant likes the Eagles. Crystal City Sports Pub likes the Eagles. Greavy's likes the Eagles. Hard Times Cafe of Fairfax likes the Eagles. Harry's Ale House in Fredericksburg likes the Eagles. And Nando's Peri Peri Chicken likes the Eagles. Look for this to be a high-scoring game between two very potent offenses, but I'll take Philadelphia at home. Pick the Eagles.
Geico headquarters in Fredericksburg, they have the best fans that we go around each year. Give yourself a round of applause again. We're having fun up here, but we must tend to business. And Donna, you have some more questions. But one thing we want to do, all you veterans that have been up there, as well as all of you that are fans out there, we thank you personally for your service, for protecting us and giving us our freedoms. And they have one Veterans Day, but you guys are heroes every day.
Good job, Tony.
Yes, they are, Tony. And I have a person here with me that great uncle was in the Redskins marching band.
Yeah, hey, Tony. This is Emma Stevens. I was in the U.S. Air Force.
Yay.
So, so with a long history in my family of military service, and just my grandma was around when y'all were named the Redskins in '33. She watched all of y'all and loved you. But with all the last few years of quarterback turnover and all kinds of different injuries and just not really knowing where that consistency is going to come from, where do you look for the leadership that really should be at the heart of a football team? I know we talked about it a little earlier, but if it's not going to be from new rookies, or if we're not looking for it from the coaching staff, where else should we be looking?
That's a very good question. And, you know, we can answer that question a lot of different ways, and I know you guys are waiting for that, but 2 or 3 things factor into me. The coaches can lead only so far. They can't get out there and hit anyone. Somebody got to get in people's face in the locker room. I used to see G-Man arguing with the coaches, the players, or whoever it took to win.
It ain't got to be the quarterback.
Right, it don't have to be the quarterback. What I'm hearing around the Washington, D.C. area is everyone talking about Peterson naturally by his play.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they say Jonathan Allen is the young man that everybody has respect for on this team.
It's funny, a locker room is crazy. It's like 53 different alpha males from all over the United States. But then we all get together and we kind of pick an alpha of all alphas. And it has nothing to do with how big, how strong they are. It's the person. Like, the first time I met Tanner when we was coming out, we classmates, we got drafted together, we did everything. But Tanner has always acted like he was 67 years old. That's him. I've always called him old man because he's always had a beard. Like I told him, he was 5 years old. I look on a 5-year-old picture, he got a beard. But he's always, you know, just been a steady guy. Like, I get emotionally attached to the game, so I'm going to have some high highs, some low lows, but Tanner just going to. So he had those leadership qualities. All I'm saying, it doesn't always have to come from the quarterback.
Exactly, and you know, I think with that young man, and then you keep Peterson, and then Smith adds a lot because he adds a lot of confidence to the team. But one thing that has changed, guys, that we got about 2 or 3 minutes to kick it around. it seems as though they haven't had the leadership, the strength, or a lot of things since they left RFK Stadium.
That's what I want to ask y'all guys. Me and Tanner just played in FedEx. We never knew how it feel to play in RFK with the stadium rocking, with it shaking in there, actually winning rings. Can y'all share with us and them how it feels to play a night game at RFK?
I mean, in my opinion, I think we truly did have like a 12th man. That was thoroughly important. When we did lose at home sometimes, but it was very rare. It was very rare. When you came into RFK, you was coming into a bee's nest. It was a hornet's nest, and we was going to kick your butt. That's what we was going to do. We was going to kick your butt, your B-U-T-T. And but it was just a special feeling. It's something when you see the
stadium
moving like that too. You'd be like, well, we gotta win. But they might not let us out of here if we lose.
And you know, I got traded here from New England, and the first time I ever saw that was when we were getting ready. We were beating Dallas in the championship game, and I looked over, and Dexter was laughing because he had already blocked a pass or ran a touchdown. What did you do, Dexter?
I don't remember.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. The big play, and I look over, and the stands is jumping up and down. I had never seen anything like that. And then when you're coming out of the tunnel, you right in contact with the people. They up over that little thing, and those two little twin ladies would be there. We lost all that when we went out there.
FedEx, it seems like it's never been home to the fans. And I don't know how we're going to do it, but we got to get it back to RFK, because I would love to come to a game there. And I think that's when everything will pretty much go to
I just, you know, my opinion, and I'm glad Fred, brought this up. I've been petitioning for years. Is like, I think all the ghosts of the championship years are still there. All those fans, all the old players, the spirits, reside there in that RFK Stadium. It's no way other than but to bring it back. I'm not sure we got to play in the same stadium, or even we knock it down and bring it up.
That's a great idea.
But that's what I asked them years ago. Why won't we play the Cowboys there? Just one game on Thanksgiving. We take it back there, and I know it's kind of regular.
Have a little trophy.
Got few racks in there.
I'll jump in 85 Buick and drive it if I got it.
When we come back, we may not be talking about how they're going to win at RFK, but we will be talking about how they need to win in Tampa. We'll be back in a second.
Hey, Tony, the question right here is, you talked about the Saints coming together during the course of the week for that unity. The question was, why don't the Redskins do the same thing?
And that's something that's changed down. That's a very good question. I know when I played, and I know what you say, the old people say that. But we used to get together during the week, offense and defense, and go out and play pool, have dinner, do something. And I think that unifies the team. If they do that this week, what do they need to do very quickly to defeat Tampa?
I don't think it's a new generation. They can be sitting right beside each other, texting each other. They don't, it's a totally new group of guys.
So what do they need to do to defeat Tampa?
I think they need to move the chain, convert more third downs.
Yeah. Move the ball. I mean, just find somebody who's gonna light a fire. I mean, somebody gotta go out there and just I'm gonna make a play.
Hey, Tampa gonna move the ball up and down the field, make them kick field goals, and control the game with the running game.
Go into the game with the expectation of, I'm going to kick your butt.
I like that. And I think you go in there and you don't make mistakes. You play as hard as you can each and every play, and you play like the better team, and you can win. We want to thank Geico here at Fredericksburg for having us out here. We hope you have enjoyed the show. We have some more of these shows coming up, but first and foremost, we want you to enjoy a win. As I say every day, I don't say goodbye, I say in the minute.